In addition to building your own code and writing custom functions within Lambda, it's oftentimes a good idea to include third-party libraries and frameworks. When you start including external libraries and frameworks into your function, it's important to understand how that impacts the cold starts for your Lambda function. So this is something that's a little bit different than what you might encounter in a traditional application development environment, where cold starts aren't as much of an issue. Remember that when a Lambda function runs, each time a new execution context is created, there's a bootstrap component to that startup time for that function, where the runtime itself needs to be bootstrapped, and all of the dependencies for that function have to be loaded from S3 and initialized. In order to optimize the cold starts for your function, you should consider reducing the overall size of your libraries. So that means removing any unnecessary dependencies in your dependency graph, as well as being conscious of the overall startup time for the libraries you're using. Certain libraries like Spring within the Java context take a long time to initialize, and that time is going to impact the cold start times for your function. Also, if you're using any compiled libraries within your function, consider statically linking them instead of using dynamic link libraries. It's also important to note that there are a number of frameworks and libraries that you can continue to use that you might be used to using already in your traditional application and development environments. For instance, if you're already developing applications using Jersey or Spring Boot, you can use the AWS Java container in order to migrate that code into a serverless context without having to make significant changes to your application. Similarly, for Node and Python, if you're using frameworks like Express or Django, the AWS Serverless Express framework and Zappa respectively can allow you to use those frameworks within a Lambda context as well.